Namaste student. Today we will discuss about chapter 6 basic concepts of OOP. First we will see what is OOP. OOP means object oriented programming. OOP means object oriented programming. Oriented programming. What is OOP? OOP is a object oriented programming which combines data and functions into a single unit. Okay, this is a concept where we combine data and functions into a single unit. That is, data is always associated with function. Okay, data is always associated with the function. Here data is given a security by binding data together with a function. ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಡೇಟಾ ಮತ್ತು ಫಂಕ್ಷನ್ ಒಟ್ಟಿಗೆ ಇರ್ತದೆ, ಒಟ್ಟಿಗೆ ಬೈಂಡ್ ಆಗಿ ಇರ್ತದೆ. ಡೇಟಾಕ್ಕೆ ಸೆಕ್ಯೂರಿಟಿ ಕೊಡುವ ಪರ್ಪಸ್ಸಿಂದ ಡೇಟಾವನ್ನು ಫಂಕ್ಷನ್ ಜೊತೆ ಬೈಂಡ್ ಮಾಡಿ ಇಡ್ತಾರೆ. ದಟ್ ಈಸ್ ಡೇಟಾ ಈಸ್ ಅಸೋಸಿಯೇಟೆಡ್ ವಿತ್ ದ ಮೆಂಬರ್ ಫಂಕ್ಷನ್. OOP is a concept, object oriented programming concept, where data and functions are combined together into a single unit. Okay, where we place data and functions together inside a class. Okay, inside a class we place data and functions together, and the collection of data and functions are known as a object. Okay, data and functions, its collection is known as a object. Okay, here OOP concept is mainly based on objects. Object means it is a collection of data and function. Here in object oriented programming concept we combine data and functions into a single unit. Data is always associated with a member function. Next we will see what are the features of object oriented programming concept. Features or characteristics of object oriented programming concepts. First one, object. Second one, classes. Third one, abstraction. Fourth one, encapsulation. Fifth one, inheritance. Next, sixth, polymorphism. Next one, overloading. Next one, message passing. Last one, dynamic binding. Dynamic binding. These are the different characteristics or features of OOP concept. First one, object, classes, abstraction, data encapsulation, inheritance, polymorphism, overloading, message passing. Last one is dynamic binding. Now we will see these characteristics one by one. First we will move on to object. What is meant by object? Okay, object is what actually? It is a collection of data members and member functions. Object is a collection of data member and member function. Data member and member function. What is data member? What is data member? Suppose if I write a class like this, class num int a comma b, public void get void print. Here, which are the data members we use? That is A and B are the data members. What is meant by data member? Variables in the class. Variables declared in the class are known as a data member. And member function. What are member functions? The functions declared inside a class, that is known as a member function. Okay. Class just holds data member and member function. Class num, here num is a class which just holds data member and member functions. But here no memory is allocated. When I just declare a class, when I just define a class, the memory is not allocated for data members. When the memory will be allocated for data members? When I declare a class. What is meant by declaring a class? Declaring a class means declaring the object for a class. Okay? Declaring the object for a class. I have to declare an object for the class. Is it clear? Then the memory will be allocated for A and B data members. Is it clear? Here, when object means what? Object is a collection of data member and member function. Object is a collection of data member and member functions. Here I have written a class num int a comma b, public void get void print, close the bracket, put semicolon. Okay. Here in this num is a class. Class what it does? Just holds a data member and member functions. But the memory is not allocated. Memory allocate agirudilla. Memory yavaga allocate agtade? When the memory will be allocated? When we declare a object for a class. Okay. When I declare a object for a class, then the memory will be allocated for a data members. Is it clear? Object declaration ಆದರೆ ಮಾತ್ರ ಮೆಮರಿ ಅಲೋಕೇಟ್ ಆಗ್ತದೆ, ಇಲ್ಲದಿದ್ದರೆ ಮೆಮರಿ ಅಲೋಕೇಟ್ ಆಗುವುದಿಲ್ಲ. ಯಾವುದಕ್ಕೆ ಮೆಮರಿ ಅಲೋಕೇಟ್ ಆಗಬೇಕು? ಡೇಟಾ ಮೆಂಬರಿಗೆ ಮೆಮರಿ ಅಲೋಕೇಟ್ ಆಗಬೇಕು. Object means what? It is a collection of data member and member function. What is a data member? The variables declared inside a class is known as a data member. What are member functions? Functions declared inside a class are known as a member functions. Okay. Suppose if I consider a class car. Okay. I will consider a class car. What will be the data members I can consider? Data members I will consider int speed, okay, and color, etc. I can consider it as a data member. And here there will be some member functions. I won't write member functions now. Next, inside a main I am going to define a object. Inside a class I am going to define a object. I will write void main. Here I am going to define a object. If I say car is a class. There is a class of cars, right? There will be many different brands. There are different names for the cars and brands for the cars, right? Isn't it? So I will just consider car Ford, okay? Car Ford, or I can consider one more, any number of objects can be created, right? Car, I will consider Maruti, okay? Listen, I can consider car as a class, so there will be different types of cars, isn't it? There are different names or brands for the cars, isn't it? That is, I will consider Ford and I will consider Maruti, okay? Here Ford and Maruti are the objects. Here these are the objects. Car is a class. You can create any number of objects for a class. ಒಂದೇ ಆಬ್ಜೆಕ್ಟ್ ಕ್ರಿಯೇಟ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕಂತ ಇಲ್ಲ. ಎಷ್ಟು ಆಬ್ಜೆಕ್ಟ್ ಅನ್ನು ನೀವು ಕ್ಲಾಸಿಗೆ ಕ್ರಿಯೇಟ್ ಮಾಡಬಹುದು. ಓಕೆ, ಹಿಯರ್ ಐ ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಕ್ರಿಯೇಟೆಡ್ 2 objects, one is for Ford and one is for Maruti. Here Ford and Maruti both has a same feature, such as both has some colors, right, different colors, and it may have different speed range will be different. There will be a speed range, there will be a colors, and there will be a wheels, isn't it? There will be a wheels, etc. These are the common features each and every car has. Is it clear? Have you understood? The features of a particular class is known as a data members. Okay, what the function is does can be considered as a member function. And different types of cars, what we have considered, different brands of a cars, that is known as a objects. Have you understood? If I consider a student class, there will be many students in the class, isn't it? If I consider class student, what are the common features for student? Each and every student has roll number, isn't it? Each and every student has their own names, and there will be some functions. And inside the main, how to create object? There will be many students. I will consider first student as S1, second student as S2, S3, and so on. I will consider 3 objects here, S1, S2, S3. S1, first student. Assume there are 3 students. Now I will create only 3 objects. S1, first student, S2 for second student, S3 for third student. Okay, if there are 3 students, I can create 3 objects, S1, S2, S3. Okay, and student is a class here. S1, S2, S3 are the objects. Student is a class. S1, S2, S3 are the object. S1 is also a student, S2 is also a student, S3 is also a student. Okay, all the 3 belongs to student. Okay, all the 3 has their own roll number, their own name. Okay, their own roll number, their own name. Here you can say object is a variable of class type. Object is a variable of class type. For a class, any number of objects can be created. For a class, any number of objects can be created. Suppose if you want to create many objects, you can consider array of objects. ತುಂಬ ಆಬ್ಜೆಕ್ಟ್ ಕ್ರಿಯೇಟ್ ಮಾಡಲಿಕ್ಕಿದ್ರೆ ಆಗ ನೀವು ಅರೇ ಆಫ್ ಆಬ್ಜೆಕ್ಟ್ ಅನ್ನು ಕನ್ಸಿಡರ್ ಮಾಡಬಹುದು. ಓಕೆ, ಲಿಸನ್, ಐ ವಿಲ್ ಜಸ್ಟ್ ರಿಪೀಟ್ ವಾಟ್ ಈಸ್ ಆಬ್ಜೆಕ್ಟ್. first characteristics, that is object. Object is a collection of data member and member functions. Object is a collection of data member and member functions. So suppose if I consider a class student, int, roll number, name are the data members, and inside a main I have to create a object. Here student is a class. For a student I have created 3 objects, S1, S2, S3. Here S1, S2, S3 are known as a objects. Student is known as a class. And for a class you can create any number of objects. Suppose if you want to create many objects, you can consider array of objects. Okay, and next suppose if you consider student S1, S2, S3, here you can say S1, S2, S3 are the variables of class type. S1, S2, S3 are the class variables, or these are the variables of student type or class type. Next we will move on to second one, classes. Already we have studied what the class does. Class, what it does? Class holds data members and member functions. Class holds data members and member functions. Class holds data members and member functions. Here class student is a class. It holds data members, roll number, name, and member function void get. And here class is known as a user defined data type. Class is known as a user defined data type. Class helidre user defined data type. Okay, because for this data type you are creating a variables. For a student is considered as a user defined data type. So for that student you are creating a variable S1, S2, S3. So you can say student is a data type, you are creating a variable S1, S2, S3. How you create a int a, b, c. Okay, here a, b, c are the variable of integer type. So you can say S1, S2, S3 are the variable of student type. So student is a class which is a user defined data type. ನಾವೇ ಡಿಫೈನ್ ಮಾಡಿದಂತಹ data type. Student is a user defined data type. So you can say class is a user defined data type which holds data members and member functions. Okay, and one more standard definition is there for the class. Class is a way of grouping objects having similar characteristics. It is a way of grouping objects having similar characteristics. That means class groups the object which has similar characteristics. ಕ್ಲಾಸ್ ಆಬ್ಜೆಕ್ಟ್ಸ್ ಅನ್ನು ಗ್ರೂಪ್ ಮಾಡ್ತದೆ. ಯಾವ ಆಬ್ಜೆಕ್ಟ್ ಅನ್ನು ಗ್ರೂಪ್ ಮಾಡ್ತದೆ? ಒಂದೇ ರೀತಿಯ ಕ್ಯಾರೆಕ್ಟರ್ಸ್ ಇರುವಂಥ ಆಬ್ಜೆಕ್ಟ್ ಅನ್ನು ಗ್ರೂಪ್ ಮಾಡ್ತದೆ. ಇಲ್ಲಿ ನೋಡಿ, ಜಸ್ಟ್ ಸಿ ದ ಎಕ್ಸಾಂಪಲ್ ಸ್ಟೂಡೆಂಟ್ S1, S2, S3. Here S1, S2, S3 are considered as an object, isn't it? So here we have grouped it together. S1, S2, S3 are grouped together under what? Under a particular class student. Is it clear? So you can say class, student is a class, isn't it? It is a way of grouping objects. S1, S2, S3 are the objects. Class is a way of grouping objects having similar characteristics. S1, S2, S3 are the students, right, isn't it? S1, S2, S3 are the variables of student type. So each and every student has the same characteristics such as roll number, name, marks, etc. So here characteristics means what? Roll number, name are the characteristics. So you can say class is a way of grouping objects. Class is a way of grouping objects having similar characteristics. These are the characteristics. Student is a class which groups object S1, S2, S3 which has similar characteristics such as roll number, name, etc. Have you understood the definition? This is a standard definition what you have to write for an exam. Class is a way of grouping objects having similar characteristics. So you can say student is a class which groups the object S1, S2, S3 which has similar characteristics such as int, roll number, name. Is it clear? For the object also you have to write the standard definition. It is a collection of data member and member functions. Okay, standard definition ಬರೀಲಿಕ್ಕೆ ಟ್ರೈ ಮಾಡಿ ಎಕ್ಸಾಮಿಗೆ. ತುಂಬ ಡೆಫಿನಿಷನ್ಸ್ ಇದೆ. ನಾವು ಯಾವುದೇ ಒಂದು ಟರ್ಮ್ ಹೇಳುವಾಗ ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ಈಸಿ ಆಗಿರುವಂಥ ಒಂದು ಡೆಫಿನಿಷನ್ ಹೇಳ್ತೇವೆ, ಬಟ್ ಎಕ್ಸಾಮಿಗೆ ನೀವು ಸ್ಟ್ಯಾಂಡರ್ಡ್ ಡೆಫಿನಿಷನನ್ನೇ ಬರೀಬೇಕು. ಓಕೆ, ಹಿಯರ್ object is a collection of data member and member functions. Class is a way of grouping objects having similar characteristics. Next we'll move on to next characteristics, that is a abstraction. Next characteristics is data abstraction. Next one I'll write complete characteristics, data abstraction. Data abstraction means, I'll just tell you a real life example. Okay, most of the people knows how to drive a car, isn't it? They know about accelerator, they know about brake, and they know how to change the gears, isn't it? But most of them does not know internally how it works. Suppose if you use accelerator, how it fastens the car, isn't it? Or when you put brake, how the car will stop, okay, isn't it? And when you change the gear, how it changes, isn't it? Such things most of us are not aware of, isn't it? ನಾವು ಒಂದು ಕೆಲಸವನ್ನು ಮಾಡ್ತೇವೆ, ಅದರ ನಮಗೆ ಬ್ಯಾಕ್ಗ್ರೌಂಡಲ್ಲಿ ಹೇಗೆ ಅದು ವರ್ಕ್ ಆಗ್ತದೆ ಅಂತ ಗೊತ್ತಿರೋದಿಲ್ಲ. ಈಗ ಕಾರ್ ಡ್ರೈವ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೇವೆ ಅಂತ ಎಸ್ಯೂಮ್ ಮಾಡಿ ಬ್ರೇಕ್ ಯೂಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೇವೆ, ಆಕ್ಸಿಲರೇಟರ್ ಯೂಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೇವೆ, ಆದರೆ ನಮಗೆ ಕರೆಕ್ಟಾಗಿ ನಾವು ಆಕ್ಸಿಲರೇಟರ್ ಯೂಸ್ ಮಾಡಿದ ಕೂಡಲೇ ಇಂಟರ್ನಲ್ಲಿ ಹೇಗೆ ವರ್ಕ್ ಆಗ್ತದೆ, ಬ್ಯಾಕ್ಗ್ರೌಂಡಲ್ಲಿ ಅದು ಹೇಗೆ ವರ್ಕ್ ಆಗ್ತದೆ, ಅದು ನಮಗೆ ಸರಿಯಾಗಿ ಗೊತ್ತಿರುವುದಿಲ್ಲ. ಅರ್ಥ ಆಯ್ತಾ? ಸಿಮಿಲರ್ಲಿ abstraction means that is, here when we see a class, we can get a brief information about data members and member functions, but we don't know exactly what are the content of get data, what are the content of display function, etc. Isn't it? That is, it is a data abstraction means process of representing essential features. It is a process of representing essential features without including background details. Okay, here representing essential features without including background details. Here we make use of objects without knowing its internal working. Okay, we make use of object without knowing its internal working. Okay, that is, if we know the basic information about C++, we can be able to develop programs. Okay, and here suppose if you are using a mobile phone, you use all of the things what you see in your mobile desktop, isn't it? But you don't know how it works internally, but still you can be able to work, isn't it? Same thing is given in a data abstraction, that is, we can be able to use a system without knowing its internal working. Okay, that is representing essential features without including background details. Representing essential features without including background details, which is not relevant for you. ನಮಗೆ ಅಗತ್ಯ ಇಲ್ಲದಂಥ ಇನ್ಫಾರ್ಮೇಷನನ್ನು ರೆಪ್ರೆಸೆಂಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇಲ್ಲ. ಇಲ್ಲಿ ನಮಗೆ ಎಷ್ಟು ಅಗತ್ಯ ಇದೆ, ಎಷ್ಟು ನೆಸೆಸರಿ ಇದೆ ಅದನ್ನು ಮಾತ್ರ ರೆಪ್ರೆಸೆಂಟ್ ಮಾಡಿದರೆ ಸಾಕಾಗ್ತದೆ. It allows a user to use an object without knowing its internal working. Permits the user to use objects without knowing its internal working. That is data abstraction. Next we will move on to data encapsulation. Data encapsulation. Here consider a class student. Here we have int roll number name, next we have a member function void get. Okay, here we have data members roll number and name, and we have a member function void get. Okay, here what is this actually? Student is a class which holds member function and data members. In object oriented concept, I said already that data is binded together with the function. Data is binded with the function. Data matte function bind agirtade, ottige irtade, isn't it? That is actually a concept of encapsulation. Data wrapped together with the function. Data is binded together with the function. That is the concept of data encapsulation. Data wrapped together with the function is known as a data encapsulation. Data matte function ಹೀಗೆ ಜೊತೆಲಿ ಇರುವುದಕ್ಕೆ ನಾವು data encapsulation ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತೇವೆ. What is the use of data encapsulation? Data encapsulation actually hides data from other functions. Okay, that is, data is given a security. It does not allow us to access the data directly. Okay, data encapsulation does not allow us to access the data directly. When we want to access the data, we have to, if we want to access a private data members, it allows us to access the data through the member functions only. Through the member functions only we have to access the private data members. Okay, direct access is prohibited here. Okay, suppose if you want to access the public data members, if there are public data members, how you are going to access? Can you access directly? No, we have to use an object. Instead of objects, we cannot access anything what is there inside the class. Okay, object through ನಾವು ಕ್ಲಾಸ್ ಒಳಗೆ ಇರುವಂತ ಡೇಟಾ ಮೆಂಬರ್ ಅನ್ನು ಅಥವಾ ಮೆಂಬರ್ ಫಂಕ್ಷನ್ ಅನ್ನು ಆಕ್ಸೆಸ್ ಮಾಡಬಹುದು. ಪಬ್ಲಿಕ್ ಡೇಟಾ ಮೆಂಬರ್ ಆದರೆ ಡೈರೆಕ್ಟ್ಲಿ ಆಬ್ಜೆಕ್ಟ್ ಥ್ರೂ ಆಕ್ಸೆಸ್ ಮಾಡಬಹುದು. Suppose if it is a private data member, we have to use an object, we have to use a member function. Through the member functions, we have to access the data members. Is it clear? Member function through ನಾವು ಡೇಟಾವನ್ನು ಆಕ್ಸೆಸ್ ಮಾಡಲಿಕ್ಕೆ ಆಗೋದು. Is it clear? Next, we'll move on to next concept, that is inheritance. We have studied inheritance Most of the topics you have studied already, isn't it? Next is inheritance. What is inheritance? What is inheritance? Creating a new class from existing class. Creating a new class from existing class is known as a inheritance. Okay. What is inheritance? Creating a new class from an existing class. What is the new class is called? New class is called what? New class is called as a derived class. Okay. Or even you can call it as a subclass. Derived class or subclass. What about the existing class? Existing class is known as a base class. Even you can call it as superclass. Base class or superclass. Okay. Here two concepts will come. That is why there are two types of classes, base class and a derived class. Base class means it is a existing class from which other classes can be derived. Okay. It is also known as a superclass. What is a derived class? It is a class which is derived from base classes. Okay. And it is also known as a subclass. Derived class is also known as a subclass. Next we will be moving on to polymorphism. What is a polymorphism? Polymorphism andre ಏನು ಅಂತ? Polymorphism means, I will consider two types of polymorphism. Either operator can show polymorphism or function can show polymorphism. Polymorphism means, that is, either operator or function can show multiple forms. Okay, can exhibit multiple forms. Okay, it allows the operator or function to exhibit multiple form. ಅಂದರೆ ಎರಡು ಫಾರ್ಮ್ ಅನ್ನೋದು ರೆಪ್ರೆಸೆಂಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ಬೋದು, ಮಲ್ಟಿಪಲ್ ಫಾರ್ಮ್, ಮೋರ್ ದ್ಯಾನ್ ಒನ್ ಫಾರ್ಮ್. ಓಕೆ, ಒಂದಕ್ಕಿಂತ ಹೆಚ್ಚು ಫಾರ್ಮ್ ಅನ್ನು ಎಕ್ಸಿಬಿಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ಬೋದು. ಅಂದರೆ ಆಪರೇಟರ್ ಟೂ ಫಾರ್ಮ್ಸ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ, ಈಗ ಸಪೋಸ್ ಇಫ್ ಐ ಕನ್ಸಿಡರ್ ಆಪರೇಟರ್ ಟು ಎಕ್ಸಿಬಿಟ್ ಮಲ್ಟಿಪಲ್ ಫಾರ್ಮ್ಸ್, ಆಪರೇಟರ್ exhibits multiple forms, that is known as a operator overloading. Polymorphism and overloading are one and the same, but it is given separately in the textbook. Okay, so I wrote it separately. Polymorphism and overloading are one and the same. Suppose if operator shows multiple forms, operator exhibit multiple properties, then I can say it is a operator overloading. Okay, operator overloading. Okay, that is, if I consider a plus symbol, okay, it can be used with integers. Plus is operator, isn't it? Plus is a operator. I can use plus with integer values. 9 plus 2, what I get? 9 plus 2, I will get 11. I can add two integer values and I get the result as sum, isn't it? Plus can be used with the strings also. I will use hello plus welcome. What I get? I will get hello welcome. Okay, I will get the result as hello welcome. What is this called? Can I call it as a sum? No, I can call it as string concatenation, combining two strings together, string concatenation. Okay, here I have used operator once with the integers, once again with the strings. So you can say here operator exhibits multiple form here. Operator exhibits multiple form here. That is, operator is plus here, plus is operator which I can use with integer. 9 plus 2, I get 11, that is known as sum. And I can use plus also with strings, that is hello plus welcome. What it does? It combines, concatenates two strings and I get hello welcome. that process is known as string concatenation. That process is known as string concatenation. Here operator takes a multiple form. Here operator takes a multiple form. Once with the integer values as sum, and with the second time with the strings as string concatenation. Here operator take multiple form, once with integer as sum and once again with the strings as string concatenation. This is known as operator overloading. This is known as operator overloading. Okay. Next we will move on to function. What is meant by function overloading? Function overloading. What do you mean by function overloading? Already you have studied. This is also known as function polymorphism. Function overloading or function polymorphism. That means using the same function name to do different tasks, isn't it? Function name will be same, but the number of arguments or type of argument will be different. Okay. I can use same function name sum. Okay. I will consider void sum. I want to find sum of two integers, so I will write int a, int b. Void sum int a comma int b. This is function declaration, function prototype I wrote, and I can use sum, same function, to find sum of two floating point numbers, float a, float b. Here I have used sum with the to find, first one to find sum of integers, second one to find sum of float. Okay. Here function name is same, sum, function name is same, but the number of arguments are same here, but the type of argument will be different. Okay. Either number of argument must be different or type of argument must be different. Okay. Here if you use function overloading, you can, when you use function overloading, you can use the name of the function same in all the functions. Okay. All the functions must contain same name, but its argument list must differ. Either number of the arguments differ or the type of the argument differs. Okay. ನೀವು ಫಂಕ್ಷನ್ ಓವರ್ಲೋಡಿಂಗ್ ಕನ್ಸಿಡರ್ ಮಾಡುವಾಗ ಫಂಕ್ಷನ್ ನೇಮ್ ಸೇಮ್ ಇರ್ಬೋದು. ನೀವು 5 ಫಂಕ್ಷನ್ ಬರೀರಿ, 10 ಫಂಕ್ಷನ್ ಬರೀರಿ, 2 ಫಂಕ್ಷನ್ ಬರೀರಿ, ಫಂಕ್ಷನ್ ನೇಮ್ ಸೇಮ್ ಇರಬೇಕು, ಆದರೆ ಆರ್ಗ್ಯುಮೆಂಟ್ ಲಿಸ್ಟ್ ಬೇರೆ ಬೇರೆ ಇರಬೇಕು. ಇದು ಆರ್ಗ್ಯುಮೆಂಟ್ ಲಿಸ್ಟ್, ಇದು ಬೇರೆ ಬೇರೆ ಇರಬೇಕು. ಒಂದು ನಂಬರ್ ಆಫ್ ಆರ್ಗ್ಯುಮೆಂಟ್ ಬೇರೆ ಬೇರೆ ಇರಬೇಕು, ಅಥವಾ ಟೈಪ್ ಆಫ್ ಆರ್ಗ್ಯುಮೆಂಟ್ ಬೇರೆ ಬೇರೆ ಇರಬೇಕು, ಅಥವಾ ಎರಡು ಬೇರೆ ಬೇರೆ ಇರ್ಬೋದು. ಟೈಪ್ ಆಫ್ ಆರ್ಗ್ಯುಮೆಂಟ್, ನಂಬರ್ ಆಫ್ ಆರ್ಗ್ಯುಮೆಂಟ್ ಬೇರೆ ಬೇರೆ ಇರ್ಬೋದು. ಈಸ್ ಇಟ್ ಕ್ಲಿಯರ್? ಇಟ್ ಮಸ್ಟ್ ಡಿಫರ್ ಇನ್ ದ ಆರ್ಗ್ಯುಮೆಂಟ್ ಲಿಸ್ಟ್, but the function name must be same. This is about function overloading. Today we have studied what is object, what is classes, inheritance, data abstraction, data encapsulation and polymorphism. Okay. In polymorphism we have studied two different types, that is a function to take multiple forms and operator to take multiple form. And next class we will move on to next characteristics of a OOP concepts. Thank you.